Welcome all. So today's topic is late marriage solutions. This is the part 1 that we'll be doing today. Now, before I start the video, I would like to inform everyone that today this recording is happening on a laptop camera because unfortunately, since the Mercury retrograde is going on and most of you are aware of that the electronics and the documentation has major problems when retrograde of the Mercury happens. So the same thing happened with us, that the memory card of the camera, of the DSLR camera actually got corrupted. So this is the reason that we decided to do a video over the laptop because we are already running late, 3 weeks late on making this YouTube videos. I was so much engrossed with the pending cases that I was just unable to make. So I thought, let's do it today, even if there is some issue with the camera. So just excuse me and bear with me if the sound and the video quality is not that great and digital. Okay, so let's get started now. We'll be doing this, as I said before, into 2 parts. Part 1 of the late marriage solution, in which I'll be just talking about the basic issues that this particular topic will have. Okay. So this question and this request of the video topic that I've taken today, the late marriage solutions, has come from many of you. I mean, I think it's been almost a year that people have been asking me to make this video since you people sent the suggestions of the different video topics to be spoken on YouTube. So finally, today is the day that I have picked up this topic. So let's start with the basics. That now understand, I'll be explaining this video in the simplest form as usual, like I always do, so that everyone who's not even from the astrological background can understand. Okay. Now, 7th house, people who've been following my videos understand, and they know by now that 7th house is a major house of marriage and partnership that we talk about. Okay. So if certain planets, now this is not that always this it's going to be like this, okay, but mostly when you have Sun, Moon and Saturn, okay, these are supposed to be the problematic planets, they say, okay, if they are present in the 7th house, in the house of your marriage, okay, and these malefic planets, they say in astrology, they call it malefic planet as per the 7th house placement is concerned in your horoscope, that they are responsible to create a late marriage scenario in your life. Okay, so there are several other factors I would like to add on this. There are several other factors which leads to this particular situation in one's life. Okay, it's not just these planets. There are several other positions and degrees and nakshatras that needs to be considered, but we will not go into such major details. We will just talk about today with the basics. Okay, so Sun, Moon, Saturn, they're present in your 7th house. They will create a situation, a scenario of a late marriage in anyone's life, whether it's a girl or whether it's a boy. Okay, now another very important thing is, like, by now you should know, people who follow and people who do not know, I would like to repeat that planet Venus, again, is considered to be the planet of your love relationships, the happiness in marriage, and the planet which is responsible for getting good marriage prospects that you desire. Okay, this is Venus for the boys, for the men, okay, which is considered to get a good wife, or to have a marriage of your own choice, to have a beautiful wife. This planet Venus also plays a very important role when it comes to the marriageable age or the quality of marriage and the happiness of marriage for men. Similarly, for girls, it's the planet Jupiter. When it talks about having a good spouse or a good life partner, okay. So what is responsible? Which planet is responsible for girls? Planet Jupiter. Okay, the correct decision making to decide that who should be your partner. All of this is decided by planet Jupiter. Just for a second, I think the screen went off the laptop, so just bear with me. Continuing to this, There's a piece of advice that I want to give to everyone, because many of you have written to me that, ma'am, what to do, we've been seeing on the internet, there's so many sites which talk about that, if you're going through a late marriage crisis or a situation, there are several tamasic methods through which this can be eradicated. Okay, so should we go for it? Because it looks and sounds very attractive to us. So immediately I say that no, you are not supposed to go for this, because this has its own side effects. Please understand, any tamasic process of tantra done on any god or goddess's name is just fake. It's not possible to do it in a correct form. You have this animal killing involved into this, which has its own side effects. You have to understand in a common sense, with a common sense in fact, that if you are killing a living being without his or her desire, you are forcefully, in fact, committing a murder, a silent murder of a voiceless creature. So how you would be benefited out of that process for yourself? Think, just think for a minute, just don't just flow away with the desires that you have of having, a good partner or a good marriage. Don't do that. Apply little mind, and you're educated, all of you, and I always say that what is the use of education when someone maybe from an uneducated background can just fool you. Okay, so just don't be educated by from the books and from the degrees, but be educated actually. Be smart enough to analyze things with common sense as well. Okay, so don't let anyone exploit you in these things. No Vashikaran practices. Again, so many people. See, I made these points here in my notepad that I'm reading, that my team has given, that so many mails come and they ask these questions, that what about the Vashikaran process to be used? There are several things that we can eradicate this late marriage issue. No, you're not supposed to do this at all. Okay, it's just not happening. Nothing's going to happen. It will just create problems and hassles for you in life, and nothing more. Nothing is to be achieved. Okay, now another important thing, that when you have this kind of a placement of all these planets which I just mentioned before, Sun, Moon, even sometimes Moon and Saturn, so it's better that you get married after the age of 29, in fact 30. Okay, so if this placement is there, it's always advisable that after 30 you get married. It's going to be still controllable, and still successful. Otherwise, again, you will have a divorce and a breakup. This is for sure. So if you want a successful marriage, it has to be after 30, between 30 to 35. That's the best time for you. Okay. Now, this is the basic thing, that the scenario of the late marriages. And if you're having this scenario in your life, whether it's a girl, whether it's a boy, okay, so you can always contact us for your detailed horoscope diagnosis. I would say that not even a diagnosis of your horoscope, it's basically a case study in which everything that's not even mentioned in your horoscope. Sometimes you have this wrong timings, you have this wrong date of birth, and sometimes you're not aware of your date of birth. So if that is the case, you just have to give your photograph, your full name, okay, your latest photograph, your full name, and whatever information you have, and it's going to be diagnosed, because we actually conduct a homa, a havan, in which everything is seen in the flames of the homa. Okay, so what exactly the situation is of the late marriage, what exactly is the combination of planets, everything astrologically in detail, in depth, and even with a vision of the spiritual vision that we call, can be seen, and a solution can be given to you. But the diagnosis is very important in it. Okay, so that cannot be avoided. It's not that you just say that I've already shown my horoscope to another astrologer, and what I'm looking for is only a solution. That's not possible. Okay, so that's about it. If you have this issue, we'll be continuing in the part 2 of late marriage solution in the next section. And till then, goodbye. I'll see you next week with the continuation of this topic. Thank you.